3 days ago, I watched my son's neighbor sprint across his lawn, screaming at me to stop. By the time the sirens went silent, I realized I'd been sleeping next to a killer for 28 years. My name is Vincent Parker, 53, aerospace engineer out of Cleveland. Married to Diane for 28 years. Our son, Marcus, lives in Columbus with his wife, Natalie. Last Monday, Diane packed 2 suitcases, said Natalie was overwhelmed with her new remote job, needed help around the house. I kissed her goodbye Tuesday morning, watched her silver Honda disappear down our driveway. By Thursday, something felt wrong. Her texts got shorter, colder. One-word answers where there used to be paragraphs. Marcus stopped picking up my calls entirely. I told myself they were busy, bonding, being a family. But that voice in your gut, the one that knows when something's rotting underneath the surface, it wouldn't shut up. Most people ignore that voice. Don't be most people. Subscribe. You'll see why. Friday afternoon, I made the call. I'd drive down to Columbus. Surprise them. Grabbed Diane's favorite Merlot from the basement. Imagined her face lighting up when I walked through that door. Left Cleveland around 4. 2-hour drive down I-71. Classic rock on the radio. Sunset painting the highway gold. I rehearsed it in my head. The hug from Marcus. Diane laughing, calling me ridiculous for driving all that way. Everything felt normal. Have you ever had a moment where your whole life is about to collapse, but you don't know it yet? Comment below if you've been there. Pulled into their neighborhood just after 6. Picture-perfect Columbus suburb. Tree-lined streets, manicured lawns, those craftsman homes with the big porches. Marcus and Natalie's place sat at the end of a cul-de-sac. Soft blue 2-story with white trim. Diane's Honda in the driveway. Marcus's black Jeep right beside it. I grabbed the wine, started walking toward the door. Then, everything went sideways. A man came running out of the house next door. 60s, plaid shirt, gray hair wild like he'd been pulling at it, arms waving, nearly tripping over his own feet. "Wait!" he screamed. "Wait! I have something to tell you!" I froze in the walkway. "Excuse me?" He stopped 3 feet away, gasping for air, hands on his knees. "You're Vincent, right? Marcus's father?" My chest tightened. "Yeah. Who are you?" "Jim. I live next door." He pointed, handshaking. "Listen very carefully. You cannot go in there." Blood pounded in my ears. "What are you talking about? My wife is—" "I know." Jim cut me off, voice low, urgent. "That's why I called them." "Called who?" His eyes locked onto mine. "The police." Everything inside me went cold. What the hell is going on? Jim glanced back at Marcus's house, then stepped closer, barely whispering now. 3 nights ago, I couldn't sleep, was out back having a cigarette. He swallowed hard. I saw Marcus and another man in the backyard, digging. Digging what? A hole, Vincent. Deep. And they were dragging something. The world tilted. Something wrapped in plastic. Something big. My hands went numb. The wine bottle slipped. Shattered on the concrete. Red, spreading like blood. You think you know where this is going. You don't. Subscribe before the next part drops. Jim grabbed my shoulder. "Vincent, I showed up the next day. I saw her go inside, but Vincent!" His voice cracked. "I haven't seen her leave. Not once. Her car's been sitting there for 3 days. That's insane. You're telling me my son—" Then I heard it. Faint. Muffled. Coming from inside the house. A woman's scream. It lasted maybe 2 seconds. Then silence. Jim's grip tightened. "Don't go in there." My legs wouldn't move. 28 years of marriage. 26 years of raising Marcus. Everything I thought I knew was disintegrating. Movement flickered through the front window. A shadow, crossing fast. Jim pulled me back. "Vincent, please, they're almost here." That's when I heard them. Sirens. Distant at first, then louder. Closer. Red and blue lights flickered at the end of the street. 4 police cruisers screeched into the cul-de-sac. Officers poured out, hands on holsters. Jim stepped forward, waving them over. I stood there, frozen, rooted to the sidewalk like a tree. Then, the front door opened. Marcus stepped onto the porch. Face pale as chalk, eyes hollow. He looked right at me. And behind him, barely visible in the dim hallway light, Diane, standing perfectly still. But she wasn't scared, wasn't crying, wasn't calling for help. She was smiling. Not her normal smile, not the one I'd woken up to for 30 decades. This was something else. Cold, calculated, like she'd been waiting for this exact moment. Marcus raised his hand slowly, mouth opening like he was about to speak, but no words came out. The lead officer stepped forward. "Everyone stay where you are." Diane's smile widened. She tilted her head, looked directly at me through the doorway, and mouthed 2 words I couldn't quite make out. "What would you do if the person you trusted most turned out to be a stranger? Drop your answer below." The officers moved toward the house, flashlights cutting through the growing darkness. Jim stood beside me, breathing hard. "Vincent, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." But I wasn't listening, because in that moment, watching Diane smile at me like I was the punchline to a joke I didn't understand, I realized something worse than betrayal. I realized I'd never actually known her at all. That was just the beginning. What the police found in that backyard? Subscribe now. The next part gets so much darker. The police pulled a body out of Marcus's backyard at 8:47 p.m. But it wasn't Diane they arrested. And when I found out who was actually dead, I wished they'd arrested me instead. 4 cruisers, lights strobing across the quiet suburban street, neighbors flooding out of their houses, phones up, recording everything. Officers surrounded Marcus and Natalie's home. 2 approached the porch. "Everyone inside, hands where we can see them." Marcus stepped back, hands raised. Diane didn't move. An officer grabbed my arm. "Sir, you need to step back." "That's my wife," I shouted. "That's my son." "Sir, we need you to stay here, for your safety." "For my safety?" Jim stood beside me, hands shaking. "I had to call them, Vincent. After what I saw, what exactly did you see?" Before he could answer, one of the officers radioed in. Static crackled through the walkie. "We need CSI. Now. There's something in the backyard." My stomach dropped. They brought out shovels, floodlights, yellow crime scene tape. I watched from the curb, helpless, suffocating. Officers disappeared into the backyard. Marcus and Diane were separated, led to different patrol cars, neither in handcuffs yet. Diane looked at me through the window, didn't blink, just stared, like she was studying me. If you're not subscribed, you're missing the rest of this. Don't make that mistake. A woman in a charcoal suit approached me. Mid-40s, sharp eyes, badge clipped to her belt. "Mr. Parker, I'm Detective Angela Reeves. I need to ask you some questions." "What's happening? Is Diane okay?" She didn't answer right away, just studied my face like she was reading a map. "When was the last time you spoke to your son?" "Thursday. He didn't pick up. Why?" "And your wife?" "This morning. Text. She said everything was fine." Reeves nodded slowly. "Mr. Parker, we received a call about suspicious activity at this residence. Your neighbor reported seeing 2 individuals digging in the backyard 3 nights ago. Jim told me, but we need to excavate the area. If we find what we think we're going to find," she paused, "this becomes a homicide investigation." The word hit me like a brick. Homicide. My knees buckled. 28 years. Diane working double shifts as a nurse to put me through grad school. Holding my hand through my father's funeral. The way she used to leave notes in my lunchbox. All of it. Real or performance? 40 minutes later, an officer emerged from the backyard, face grim. He nodded at Detective Reeves. She cursed under her breath, then turned to me. "Mr. Parker, we found remains." Is it Diane? Is my wife? Your wife is alive," Reeves said quickly. "But I need you to tell me, do you know a woman named Melissa Torres?" "Who?" "Melissa Torres, 24 years old, marketing analyst, worked with your daughter-in-law." "I've never heard that name in my life." Reeves pulled out her phone, showed me a photo. Young woman, dark hair, bright smile. She went missing 6 days ago. Filed a harassment complaint against Natalie 3 weeks prior. Claimed your daughter-in-law was involved in corporate fraud. My mouth dried. We just found her body wrapped in plastic, buried 4 feet deep. Would you have seen this coming, or would you have been just as blind? Comment below. They separated us. Marcus went into one patrol car, Diane into another. I was told to wait. Through the window, I could see Diane. Calm, composed, talking to an officer like she was ordering coffee. No tears, no panic, nothing. Jim stood beside me, voice breaking. "Vincent, I'm sorry. I should have called sooner. You did the right thing." But my eyes never left Diane. An officer approached Reeves, whispered something. Her face darkened. She turned to me. "Mr. Parker, I need to ask you something very important." "Anything." "Where were you last Tuesday night between 9 p.m. and 3 a.m.? Everything stopped. "I was home, in Cleveland, sleeping. Why?" Reeves didn't answer. Just wrote something in her notepad. And I realized, they think I'm involved. 20 minutes later, they let me near her. Supervised. Brief. Diane sat in the back of the patrol car, hands folded in her lap like she was at church. She looked up at me. "Vincent, I need you to listen very carefully." Her voice was steady. Too steady. Natalie was being blackmailed by that woman. Melissa found out about her boss's embezzling scheme and threatened to frame Natalie for it. My blood ran cold. "Fix it? Diane, there's a body in the backyard." "I know." Her eyes didn't waver. "What would you have done, Vincent? Let our only son go to prison?" This is just the surface. The truth is so much worse. Subscribe. You need to see what happens next. Reeves pulled me aside. "Mr. Parker, we need to search your home in Cleveland, with your permission." "Why?" "Because your wife's phone records show 47 calls between her and your son in the past week, and we found evidence of financial transfers." "What kind of transfers?" $75,000, moved from a joint account under your name, Tuesday morning. I staggered backward. "I didn't authorize that." "I believe you, which is why we need to search your house." News vans arrived. Cameras, microphones. Our family's private nightmare, now public spectacle. I saw my face on someone's phone screen. Headline crawling underneath. "Local engineer's family tied to murder investigation." Jim touched my shoulder. "Vincent, you should go home." But I couldn't move. Because Diane was being led out of the patrol car now. Finally in handcuffs. She passed me on the walkway. Stopped. Leaned close enough to whisper. "Vincent, I need you to trust me. One more time." Her breath was cold against my ear. "Everything I did for us." Then she smiled. That same smile from the doorway. And I realized something terrifying. She wasn't lying. She genuinely believed it. They loaded her into the back of the cruiser. Red and blue lights reflected off the windows. Detective Reeves approached. "Mr. Parker, don't leave town. We'll have more questions." I nodded, numb. Watched the cruiser pull away. Diane's face pressed against the glass, still smiling. "If your spouse was arrested for murder tomorrow, would you stand by them or would you run? Tell me in the comments. I'm curious what you'd do." They released her 6 hours later, no charges. And when she walked into our home at 3 a.m. like nothing happened, I knew exactly what I had to do. She came home at 3 in the morning, climbed into bed beside me, and while she slept, I started digging through her entire life. What I found in that storage unit made me realize I'd been married to a monster for 28 years. I drove back to Cleveland in a daze, arrived at our house around 2 a.m., sat in the driveway for 30 minutes, staring at the porch light Diane always left on for me. Everything looked normal. Same mailbox, same welcome mat, same life. But nothing would ever be normal again. I went inside, poured bourbon I didn't drink, sat in the dark. At 3:17 a.m., headlights swept across the living room wall. Diane's Honda. She walked in like she'd been at book club. Purse on the counter, keys in the bowl, shoes by the door. Saw me sitting in the dark. "Vincent, you're still up." Her voice, steady, casual, like the past 6 hours hadn't happened. "They let you go," I said. "Of course they did." She sat across from me. "I didn't do anything wrong." I stared at her. This woman I'd shared a bed with for 3 decades, who knew how I took my coffee, the scar on my shoulder from a cycling accident, the way I couldn't sleep without a fan running. Did I ever know her at all? "Diane, there's a body in Marcus's backyard." "I know. And you're acting like this is normal." She leaned forward, hands folded, calm. "Vincent, listen to me. Natalie was in danger, real danger. That woman was going to destroy her career, frame her for fraud. Marcus panicked and made a choice. To kill her? To protect his wife," Diane corrected. "And I went down there to help clean up the mess, because that's what mothers do. Most people would have confronted her right there. I didn't, and that decision saved my life. Subscribe to see why. I didn't argue, didn't yell, didn't accuse. I played the role she needed me to play, the confused, devastated husband. I need time to process this," I said quietly. Diane nodded. "I understand. We'll get through this, like we always do." She stood, kissed my forehead. "I'm going to bed. Come up when you're ready." I listened to her steps on the stairs, the bedroom door closing. Then I opened my laptop. Started with the basics. Bank accounts. Found the transfer immediately. $75,000 moved Tuesday morning to an account I didn't recognize. Diane's email next. Password, Marcus's birthday. Same one she'd used for 15 years. Rookie mistake. Scrolled through months of messages. Most were normal. Grocery lists, doctor appointments. Then I found a folder labeled Travel Plans. Opened it. Emails between Diane and someone named Gregory Sterling. Subject lines like Costa Rica property options, offshore account setup, life insurance policy review. My hands started shaking. Dug deeper. Found encrypted files hidden in our shared drive. Took me an hour to crack them. Her security questions were laughably easy. Mother's maiden name, first pet. What I found inside? Photos. Dozens of them. Melissa Torres at a coffee shop. Melissa getting into her car. Melissa's apartment building. Time-stamped over the past 3 weeks. Someone had been stalking her. And based on the metadata, the photos were taken from Diane's phone. Have you ever discovered something about someone you love that made you question everything? Drop a comment. I want to hear your stories. At 4 a.m., my phone buzzed. Unknown number, text message. "Mr. Parker, this is Detective Reeves. Unofficial message. If you want the truth, check Unit 247 at Akron East Storage. Code is 1997. Don't tell your wife I sent this." I stared at the message. The year Diane and I got married. Left the house at 5 a.m.,
Diane still asleep. Drove 40 minutes to Cleveland in silence. Pulled into the storage facility just as the sun was rising. Rows of identical metal units stretching into the distance. Found 247, punched in the code. The lock clicked. I grabbed the handle, hesitated. Whatever's behind this door changes everything. Pulled it up. 12 plastic storage bins, each one labeled with a woman's name. Melissa Torres, Vanessa White, Claire Hammond, names I didn't recognize, and at the very end, one labeled Vincent. Opened Melissa's bin first. Files, photos, detailed schedules of her daily routine, maps of her apartment complex, screenshots of her social media, bank statements, medical records, everything. Moved to the next bin, Vanessa White. Same thing, complete surveillance. Opened the third, Claire Hammond. Newspaper clipping tucked inside. Local woman dies in apparent home invasion, 2019. My blood turned to ice. This is where it gets dangerous. If you're still watching without subscribing, you're braver than me. Hands shaking, I opened the last one. My complete medical history. Life insurance policies, 3 of them, totaling $2.3 million. Research printouts on heart attacks. Undetectable poisons. Natural causes. A daily schedule, my routine mapped out like a military operation. And at the bottom, a draft obituary, already written. Vincent Parker, beloved husband and father, passed unexpectedly at age 53 due to cardiac arrest. He is survived by... Underneath the obituary, a handwritten note, Diane's handwriting, dated 3 weeks ago. V is becoming suspicious, may need to accelerate timeline. The Melissa situation provides perfect cover. His grief over Marcus will explain erratic behavior before the incident. Target date, 6 to 8 weeks post-funeral. Method, potassium chloride injection during sleep, untraceable. I dropped the paper, staggered backward. Hit the metal wall of the storage unit. She was going to kill me. My phone buzzed. Text from Diane. Where are you? Breakfast is ready. Come home soon. Love you. I stood in that storage unit, surrounded by evidence of my wife's murders, looking at my own obituary, and I realized I'd been dead for weeks. I just didn't know it yet. What would you do right now? Run to the police? Confront her? Or play along? Comment your answer. This decision could mean life or death. I didn't run. I didn't call the police. I did something smarter. And when Diane found out what I'd been planning, she tried to kill me anyway.
I was loading my wife's murder evidence into my car when Marcus pulled up behind me. He looked at me with tears in his eyes and said 5 words that changed everything. Dad, she killed them all. I was throwing bins into my trunk. Hands shaking so bad I could barely grip the handles. Then, headlights behind me, a black Jeep. Marcus. He stepped out, face pale, eyes red. Dad, we need to talk. I grabbed the nearest bin, ready to use it as a weapon. Stay back! Dad, please. Your mother is a murderer, my voice cracked. Did you know? Were you helping her? Marcus's face crumpled. I didn't know. Not until it was too late. This next part, it'll make you question everything you thought you knew. Subscribe now. We sat on the curb. Storage unit still open behind us, dawn breaking over Akron. Marcus buried his face in his hands. I didn't kill Melissa. Then who did? He looked up, tears streaming. Mom did. 3 weeks ago, Melissa filed that complaint against Natalie. Corporate fraud. It was real. Natalie's boss was embezzling and trying to pin it on her. So Melissa was trying to help? At first. Then she wanted money to stay quiet. $50,000. Natalie panicked, called Mom. My stomach turned. What did Diane do? Marcus swallowed hard. She told Natalie she'd handle it. Drove down that Tuesday. I thought she was going to pay Melissa off. Instead, he couldn't finish. Marcus, what did she do? She invited Melissa to the house, said she wanted to talk, made her tea. My chest tightened. Melissa collapsed 20 minutes later. Mom said it was a heart attack, natural. But then she made me help her bury the body. Why didn't you call the police? Marcus looked at me with hollow eyes. Because she said if I did, she'd kill you. And Dad, I believed her. It's not the first time, Marcus whispered. What? He pulled out his phone, showed me a list of names. I started digging after Melissa, found obituaries, women who died around Mom over the past 10 years. My vision blurred. How many? At least 6, maybe more, all ruled natural causes, heart attacks, aneurysms. One of them was Uncle Jimmy's wife. My breath caught. Aunt Carol? Marcus nodded. She died 4 years ago. Remember? Heart attack at 51. But before she died, she told Uncle Jimmy she suspected Mom of having an affair. I remembered that funeral. Diane crying at the service, holding Carol's daughter. The perfect grieving friend. It was all an act. Marcus opened his trunk, pulled out a laptop. I've been recording everything. For 6 months. Every conversation with Mom, every suspicious thing she said. He opened a file. Audio recording. Diane's voice. Marcus, this is for our family. That woman was going to destroy Natalie's career. Now she can't. You should be thanking me. Marcus's voice shaking. Mom, you killed her. Diane calm. I protected you, just like I've protected this family for years. Your father doesn't understand what it takes, but you do now. If you're not subscribed yet, drop a comment telling me why. I want to know what's holding you back. Why are you telling me this now? I asked. Because she's planning to kill you next, Marcus said. I found the obituary, the research, the timeline. He grabbed my shoulders. Dad, I've been trying to figure out how to stop her without both of us ending up dead or in prison. Did you contact Detective Reeves? 2 days ago. She's been investigating Mom for a year. Corporate fraud, suspicious deaths, but she can't prove anything. Until now, I said, gesturing to the storage unit. Marcus nodded. This is it. This is everything we need. My phone buzzed. Text from Diane. Vincent, where are you? You're scaring me. Please come home. We had maybe 2 hours before Diane got suspicious. Marcus called Detective Reeves, explained everything. She answered immediately. Meet me at Riverside Park, Cleveland, 1 p.m., bring the evidence, both of you. We loaded the remaining bins into Marcus's Jeep. As we drove toward Cleveland, Marcus said something that made my blood run cold. Dad, there's something else you need to know. What? Natalie isn't at her parents' house in Michigan. I turned. What? She's been working with Detective Reeves for 3 weeks, ever since Mom killed Melissa. They've been setting up a sting operation. So when Diane threatened to go after Natalie, she walked right into a trap, Marcus finished. There are FBI agents at that house waiting. My phone rang. Diane. Don't answer, Marcus said. If I don't, she'll know something's wrong. I answered, put it on speaker. Vincent, Diane's voice sweet but strained. Where are you, honey? Just running some errands. Silence. Then, what kind of errands to you to be in Akron at 6 a.m.? My blood froze. How did you... I tracked your phone, Vincent. I always have. Marcus grabbed my arm, mouthed, hang up. But Diane wasn't finished. I know you went to the storage unit. I know Marcus is with you, and I know exactly what you're planning to do. Her voice dropped, cold, predatory. Come home, now, or I promise you, Vincent, someone you love dies tonight. The line went dead. Marcus and I sat in the Jeep, parked on the side of I-71. His hands gripping the steering wheel, my phone buzzing with another text. Photo attached.
It was Detective Reeves, tied to a chair, blood running down her face. Caption underneath, "You have 1 hour. Come home alone. No police, or she dies." Then I find Marcus. What would you do? Save the detective or trust the FBI? Comment your answer. I'm genuinely curious. We didn't go home. We did something that almost got us both killed. Don't miss how this ends.
My wife held a federal detective hostage in our basement, but when the FBI stormed our house 30 minutes later, they didn't find what they expected, and neither did I. Marcus stared at the photo. "Dad, this is a trap. I know. If we go back there, she'll kill us both." I looked at him. My son, 26 years old, shouldn't be dealing with this. "We're not going alone," I said. I dialed the FBI field office. "This is Vincent Parker. My wife, Diane Parker, is holding Detective Angela Reeves hostage at 1847 Pinehurst Drive, Cleveland. She's armed and has threatened to kill multiple people." The operator's voice sharpened. "Sir, are you in immediate danger?" "Not yet, but I will be in about 45 minutes. FBI tactical team met us 2 miles from the house. Agent Marcus Torres laid out the plan. "We breach in 15 minutes. You two stay in the vehicle until we give the all clear." "She'll know you're coming," I said. "We're counting on it." Marcus pulled me aside. "Dad, there's something I need to tell you. About Mom." "Now?" "Before this ends, you need to know..." His voice broke. "She tried to recruit me 2 months ago. Said we could split the insurance money after you died, start over somewhere new." My heart stopped. "What did you say?" "I said yes, so I could record her, Dad, so I'd have proof. I've been wearing a wire for 8 weeks. He pulled his phone out, played a recording. Diane's voice, "Once Vincent is gone, we'll have freedom. Real freedom. No more pretending. No more playing the devoted wife and mother." Marcus's voice, "What about the police?" "They'll never suspect. I've done this 6 times. I'm very good at it. This ending, you won't see it coming. Subscribe. You'll regret missing this." FBI moved into position. I watched from the van, saw our house, the one we bought in 1999, where we raised Marcus, where I thought we were building a life. All of it, a lie. Agent Torres's voice crackled over the radio. "We're breaching in 3, 2, 1. They found Detective Reeves in the basement, tied to a chair, gagged, bruised, but alive. Diane wasn't there. Upstairs bedroom, empty. Kitchen, empty. Garage. Diane's Honda still parked inside. "She's gone," Agent Torres said over the radio. "House is clear, no sign of the suspect." Marcus and I looked at each other. "That's impossible," I said. "Her car is here. We've been watching the house." Then my phone buzzed. Text from Diane. "Did you really think I'd be stupid enough to wait for you, Vincent? I've been planning this for years, Vincent. Every contingency, every outcome. You were always 3 steps behind." Another text. "Check the basement. I left you a present." The present. FBI descended into the basement, found a laptop, screen already on, playing a video file. Diane's face filled the screen. She was sitting in our living room. This recording was recent, maybe hours old. "Hello, Vincent," she said to the camera. "If you're watching this, then my plan worked. You found the storage unit, you called the FBI. You played right into my hands." She smiled, that cold, calculated smile.
You see, I needed you to find that evidence. I needed you to think you were winning. Because the truth is, I've been setting this up for 2 years. Diane leaned forward. Every file in that storage unit, planted. Every recording Marcus made, I knew about them. I wanted him to record me. My stomach dropped. The bodies in those bins? They're not evidence of my crimes. They're evidence of yours. She held up documents. Bank transfers in your name, emails from your account, security footage of you at the storage facility, and best of all, your fingerprints all over everything. I framed you, Vincent, for all of it. The murders, the fraud, everything. She stood. Right now, Gregory Sterling is delivering a file to the FBI. Phone records, financial documents, proof that you've been embezzling from your company for years, that you killed those women to hide your tracks. My hands went numb. And when they find Melissa's blood in your car, planted there last night while you slept, you'll spend the rest of your life in prison. Agent Torres turned to me, face hard. Mr. Parker, we need to talk. She's lying, I said. Everything she just said, we found the transfers, $75,000, sent from an account in your name to an offshore account. We found emails on your laptop, correspondence with Melissa Torres, threatening her. That's impossible. Marcus grabbed my arm. Dad, but Torres kept going. And we just got a call from your company. They've been investigating missing funds for 6 months, $300,000, all traced back to accounts you have access to. Most people would have given up here. Vincent didn't. And what happened next? Subscribe to find out. I pulled out my phone. Agent Torres, check your email right now. He frowned, but pulled out his phone. What am I looking for? An email I sent myself 4 hours ago, time-stamped from the storage unit. I documented everything, every file, every photo, every piece of evidence in those bins. Check the metadata on those planted emails. Compare them to the real ones. Diane doesn't know I've been keeping backup files of everything on our computer for 3 years. Marcus stepped forward. And check the recordings I gave you. I didn't just record conversations. I recorded her planting evidence, logging into Dad's accounts, everything. Torres's expression shifted. You recorded her framing you? For 8 weeks, Marcus said. Every move she made, I documented. Torres made a call. We need to find Diane Parker, now. Issue an APB. Within minutes, airport security flagged her. Cleveland Hopkins International. Boarding a flight to Costa Rica. Using a fake passport. Name, Diana Sterling. FBI intercepted her at the gate. They brought her in 3 hours later, handcuffed, silent, walked her past me at FBI headquarters. She looked at me. No smile this time, just cold, dead eyes. You won't win, Vincent, even if they believe you. Everyone will always wonder, did he know? Was he involved? She leaned closer. I've already destroyed you, and you'll never get your life back. 3 months later, federal courthouse. Diane's trial became national news. Suburban nurse serial killer. Black Widow of Cleveland. The prosecution presented 6 confirmed murders over 10 years. Melissa Torres, Carol Henderson, Uncle Jimmy's wife, 4 others, all connected to Diane. The defense argued Vincent was the mastermind. Diane was coerced, manipulated, but the evidence was overwhelming. Marcus's recordings, my documentation, Gregory Sterling's testimony. He flipped, begged for a plea deal. The jury deliberated 6 hours. Guilty on all counts.
Judge Morrison didn't hesitate. Mrs. Parker, I've seen many things in my 30 years on the bench, But the calculated, methodical nature of your crimes is among the most disturbing. Diane stood. No emotion. Life without parole. Consecutive sentences for each murder. You will never see freedom again. They led her away. She didn't look back. 6 months later, I moved to Denver, sold the Cleveland house, couldn't look at it anymore. Marcus and Natalie stayed in Columbus. Therapy 3 times a week for both of them. Expecting a baby in March. Trying to build something good from the ashes. I joined a support group for families of victims. Met Carol's daughter there, Uncle Jimmy's family. The others Diane destroyed. Have you ever had to rebuild your life from nothing? Tell me in the comments. I want to hear your story. I was at a coffee shop in Denver, reading, finally able to focus again. A woman approached. "Excuse me, is this seat taken?" I looked up. Smile cautious, but genuine. "No, please." She sat down. We talked. Her name was Sophie, librarian, loved hiking. For the first time in a year, I felt something close to normal. We talked for an hour. She excused herself to use the restroom, left her phone on the table. Screen lit up with a notification. I glanced down, couldn't help it. Message preview from someone named Greg. He took the bait. Phase 2 begins tomorrow. D says to take it slow. My blood turned to ice. D. Diane. Sophie came back. Sat down. Smiled. "Sorry about that. Where were we?" I stood up. Hand shaking. "I just remembered I have somewhere to be." "Oh, okay," her smile faltered. "Maybe we could meet again sometime." I was already walking toward the exit. Pulled out my phone. Called Agent Torres. "Vincent, what's wrong?" "She's not done. Diane, she's still orchestrating this from prison." Behind me, Sophie stood, watching me through the coffee shop window. No longer smiling, just watching. They arrested Sophie 3 days later. Real name, Cynthia Walsh. Prison pen pal of Diane's, part of a network. 6 other women, all connected to inmates, all part of an elaborate revenge scheme Diane orchestrated from inside. She promised us money, Cynthia told investigators. Said her ex-husband had millions hidden away. We just had to make him fall in love, gain his trust. Agent Torres looked at me. She's not done. Diane, she's still orchestrating this from prison. I visited Diane one last time. Maximum security prison. Bulletproof glass between us. She picked up the phone, smiled. "Hello, Vincent." "It's over," I said. "They arrested all of them." "Is it?" She tilted her head. "How many women have you met since you moved to Denver? How many smiled at you in grocery stores, coffee shops, gyms?" My stomach turned. "How many of them were real, Vincent? And how many were mine?" "You'll spend the rest of your life wondering. Every woman who looks at you, every friendly conversation, every date." She leaned forward. "Is she real? Or did I send her?" "You're insane." "No." Her smile widened. "I'm patient. And I have all the time in the world to make sure you never find peace." I walked out of that prison. Never looked back. Changed my name. Moved again. Cut ties with everyone except Marcus. Some nights I still wonder, was that woman at the grocery store today watching me? Was that barista too friendly? But then I remember. Diane wanted me to live in fear, to never trust, to be alone. And I refused to give her that. So I go to therapy. I build new friendships, carefully, slowly. I help other victims of narcissistic abuse. And every day I wake up, I make a choice. I choose to live, not in fear, not in her shadow, but in spite of her. They say revenge is a dish best served cold, but the truth is, the best revenge isn't destruction. It's survival. Diane took 28 years of my life. She murdered 6 people. She tried to frame me. She orchestrated chaos from a prison cell. But she didn't win, because I'm still here and she's in a cage. That's the ending she never saw coming. So, here's my question for you. Could you rebuild after something like this? Or would the paranoia consume you? Drop your honest answer in the comments. I want to hear your story. And if this story taught you anything, it's this. Subscribe. Because the people who saw this coming, they were paying attention from the beginning. Don't be the person who misses the warning signs. I'm Vincent Parker, and this was my story.